Welcome everyone to Ask Admissions Live. My name is Jordan Stevenson. I'm the Director of Student Recruitment. And as Aerosmith said, we are back in the saddle again. I am so excited to be, I added the we, they say, yeah, anyways, you get the point.
That's what happened.
It was really just the saddle part I wanted to say. Welcome. We have some awesome people with us tonight, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we are going to get into our news from the nest and tell you everything that we're doing here tonight. Why are we doing an Ask Admissions Live over the summer, Monday night at 7 p.m. for you? We'll tell you all about it. All right, Jacinta.
Awesome. I'm Jacinta Lester. I'm the manager of admissions for special populations. I don't know why I have this hand up.
So you can high five
And
Nichole.
And high five Nichole, because we can actually touch now.
It's great.
Yes.
And I'm Nichole Bryant. I am a transfer and adult admission counselor and also mom of incoming KSU transfer/freshman student for the fall.
What?
Nichole's the superstar.
I got it all.
Yep.
She's a new first-time student
First-time college student.
for us, but she
Yes.
has college credit.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed she does.
And we're very excited to have Abby in the Owl Nation.
That's right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Nichole's daughter tonight and really get more Nichole's perspective on being a parent of I'll call a real college student.
A real college student.
Yeah, out of high school,
She's
that's
legit.
done. Now legit, college students. So we're going to talk about that and give some perspective. I also had a college kid. She has graduated now, so I'm just lining up the other one to head that way and go to college one day. Not too soon, but she's in third grade.
Her in dual enrollment.
Yeah. Which can she start dual enrollment, Jacinta? 4 years. No, I don't think, we're struggling with other things.
Okay.
So we're not ready for dual
You
enrollment
don't
yet.
think that she might be a child prodigy?
She is. She's a
Okay.
genius.
Yeah.
She's a genius. She takes after her mother. So let's talk about what tonight is about. We've already hinted to it a little bit with Nichole and our bantering here. But we want this Ask Admissions Live to be for parents and families that are out there. You're out there, you're catching this live, maybe you see it later on tonight, maybe you see it tomorrow. This is for you. This is to help you prepare for this next, what we internally call it the admissions cycle. You just call it your student's senior year. You call it preparing for college. What are we doing to prepare for college? And we hear from parents, from families so often about, if I'd only known this sooner, if I'd only done this or helped my student, nudged my student in this way sooner. A lot of us go out to big nights in high schools, and sometimes they're county-wide events that are just for families. And those events are centered around helping your student prepare for the application process, how to find the right school, things like that. And so we're going to talk about some of those things tonight, but it's here over the summer, so you still have plenty of time to get ready here for your student's senior year, the actual senior year. And my wife and I were having a conversation last night about, oh gosh, school is back in session. Well, oh gosh, and thank you. School is back in session in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Exactly. So we're so excited. But also, where did the summer go? So now's the right time to talk about how to prepare for college. So we're going to give you some tips and tricks and just have a conversation here amongst us to talk through what we think is best to help you all out and help you get in the right frame of mind for college prep. So a little bit of news from the nest. If you're new to Ask Admissions Live, we like this segment at the beginning, if you will, to get out some key information about what's going on here at Kennesaw State University, particularly in admissions and enrollment services, so we can help you make these final decisions. If you're, for instance, at this point in time, an admitted student for fall 2021 and you still have some things to do to prepare to come to the university, and then for everybody else, to get you ready for this next admission cycle, and then we'll jump into kind of this deeper content. So I've got my notes. Let me talk about some news from the nest here. So fall 2021 admitted students, if you're out there, you're a transfer student, and you've been admitted to the university, that's right. Nichole repping the transfer side and adult learner side of the house. If you're out there and you've been admitted to the university, but you haven't registered for classes yet, or you haven't signed up for new student orientation, please do so as soon as possible. Those things are still available to you. We recommend that you go to new student orientation first. The core part of your new student orientation is done online. It's virtual, so it's accessible for you. If you're worried about getting to campus and having to do something on campus, don't worry. You get to do this part online, and then you get to register for your classes. So really big deal. You learn the ins and outs of the institution, how you can navigate KSU the best way, and then you get to actually sign up for your classes. So do this, orientation.kennesaw.edu. That's the website. We're going to post these websites in the chat here tonight so that you've got those websites. You can just click on them and go to them. But orientation.kennesaw.edu, sign up for new student orientation there. If you're a transfer student, if you're out there and you're a freshman and you're planning on coming, or a first-year student and you're planning on coming to the university for the fall and you haven't signed up for new student orientation, it is a must. You have to sign up for new student orientation so that you can register for classes so that you can come this fall. So don't delay. There's still time, but we want to make sure that you do it sooner rather than later. Okay, looking to the future. Right?
With your crystal ball.
Yeah, let's say, during the, thank you for reminding me. I think I did that the other day too in a meeting. But back when we were in the pandemic, I pulled out this imaginary crystal ball all the time. Thank y'all. Y'all so
You're
sweet.
welcome.
We've done a lot of stuff.
It's been a long time.
We've gone through a lot
We've gone through
over
a
this
lot,
last
Jordan.
year and a half plus. So yeah, crystal ball. I actually don't need the crystal ball. I know.
Yes.
Our fall 2022 already there application. So a year from now, the semester fall 2022, a year from now, our application opens August the 1st. August the 1st. It's 2 weeks away. We already called attention to that.
Yep.
2 weeks away, August the 1st. Super exciting to open up this next admissions cycle. So as we talk about things tonight, you're going to have some to-do items and some things that you can make sure you focus on over the next couple weeks. But nudge your student. August the 1st, the application opens, and that's if you're a transfer student.
Yep.
That's like super far in advance, and you're planning on transferring. If you're a freshman out there, or you have a student that's a rising senior. Dual enrollment students can apply on August the 1st. So all student types, August the 1st, the application will open. Last year we did a really fun contest where we dug through and we found the first student that applied to the university, and we sent her a prize pack. So we're going to do that again this year. And a lot of this stuff happens, I'm going to talk about social media here in a minute, but a lot of this stuff we share this insider information, kind of like what we're doing here tonight on the Ask Admissions Live. We share these kinds of fun contests and things like that on our Instagram and on Facebook and different things. So you've got to pay attention to what we're doing as a university and what we're doing as an admissions office through Facebook and through YouTube and through Instagram. That's how you stay in the know. So this is something that we do. We did it last year. We found the person that applied first. We sent her a prize pack. We let her know ahead of time, sent her a DM on Instagram, just fun stuff like that. I just want you to see if you can be first, right? Can you actually be first? And you don't know what you're going to win. We sent some really good stuff last year. We're going to put together some really good stuff this year as well, and send it out to the very first applicant. So really cool. Okay, we're going to talk tonight about how do you really get to know the university. What's the easiest way to get to know KSU as well as other institutions, and that's take a campus tour or show up for a big open house or preview day. So we have campus tours Monday through Friday, both of our campuses, Kennesaw campus and the Marietta campus. You can sign up online at visit.kennesaw, pardon me, visit.kennesaw.edu. That's also going to be in the chat. Come for a campus tour. Our calendars are up there. They're updated every month. So pop in, sign up for a campus tour. Now is an incredible time to tour college campuses before really the fall gets going heavy, before your student has a lot of stuff to do for their actual classes. This is the time to sign up for campus tours. This is the time to start to figure out where does your student want to go for this next year. So consider signing up. If you can't make it in person, we have an awesome virtual tour online. And then we also have a really cool self-guided tour where you can do a self-guided tour from home through the app. Or if you want to come yourself to campus, say Saturday afternoon, and you want to tour around campus when it's a little more relaxed, you can do that too, and you can use the self-guided app. So check that out. That's all on visit.kennesaw.edu. Other big things that are happening this fall, I know these two ladies are really excited. We are going to have in-person open houses.
Yay. I'm excited to have like the people back.
Exactly.
Like there was just something like, even though it's like early in the morning, it's just something exciting about like people coming and they're like, yeah, we're here for open house. And it's like, I don't know. I
It's a
love
good
it.
We've missed
energy.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've missed the
Good
energy.
energy.
Yeah.
That's very true. And we do them in really cool locations.
Yeah.
Like we're in our convocation center in this really beautiful President's Hospitality Suite. That's where our filming location. But the basketball court and volleyball court is right there, which is really cool. And that's where open house happens. On our Marietta campus, it's in our Marietta Event Center, which is the basketball, the gym down there on the Marietta campus. So it's a really cool environment as well. And if you come to in-person open house, you'll get to meet these lovely ladies as well. And they're really cool. I thought y'all would laugh more at that, but you didn't. I actually
Sorry.
wrote it on my notes.
Sorry,
But
To
we
say-
laugh.
we can laugh now.
Yeah. Thank you. I said meet Nichole and Jacinta in person.
Yeah.
On my notes. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let me tell you these dates so you know when you can come and meet Jacinta and Nichole in person, but more importantly, participate in open house. Why should people, what's all the stuff that we do at open house?
Oh, gosh.
Putting y'all on the spot. I know we haven't done one since
I know.
Academic
spring of
sessions.
2020.
Yes.
You get to eat
That's
in
the
the
best.
That's
dining
academic
hall.
sessions, eat in the dining
You
halls.
get to do a campus tour.
Campus tour.
You get to hang out with us
Yep.
for hours.
Housing
Yeah.
tour.
But not
housing.
too many hours.
Not
Hours,
too
but
ma-
not too many hours.
Just
Not-
the right
yeah,
amount
just
of
the right
hours.
amount.
Singular number of
Yeah,
hours.
it's like
Yeah.
having a guest over.
Not
Just like
double
just to
digits.
know.
Just the right amount of hours.
All right, you've had your hors d'oeuvres. No.
Yes. But I think that like you get to take pictures, Scrappy's there.
Yep.
And I think people also kind of form friendships too, like especially because when we do open house, we've met these students out on the road. So moms and dads are getting to see us and they're like, I remember you from my college fair. And so I think that there's this almost like camaraderie that happens when
Yeah.
open house is going on. So
It's the start of building your community.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. You see familiar faces time and time again, and that they become part of your community. And that's really something that we strive to create here, the culture that we have here at KSU. Even being a large institution, we want to create these smaller communities that you get to come and be a member of. That's part of being in the Owl Nation. So come for open house. Let me tell you, we haven't publicized these events yet. So again, a big reason why you want to participate in Ask Admissions Lives. You want to participate in our Instagram Lives. This is where you find out the nitty-gritty information. So the first one will be the Kennesaw campus, Saturday, September the 18th. So September the 18th, we're going to post these events, visit.kennesaw.edu. They'll also have their own website too. But we'll post them a little over a month before the actual event. So you've got a whole month head start. What I did today was I took all my big events. By the way, this is a total coincidence. I took all of my big events that I know about here for the next year, and I got a new agenda or
Yes.
calendar, whatever people call it. You know,
love it. Planner.
A planner. Thank you.
Yeah.
Better word. Better word. I'm bad with the words. I got a new planner, and I put all these dates, all of our deadline dates. I put them in there. All of our open houses, I put
the
in there.
best.
You know, my wife's birthday, anniversary,
Don't
those kind
forget
of
those
important things. All my children's birthdays. All of that's in the. I put your birthdays in there. All of that's in my planner. And so these are some that I put in my planner. So if you're out there right now and you're saying, what date did he just say? He just said September the 18th, Kennesaw campus. Put it in your planner. That way, about a month, maybe even set in a reminder, a month ahead, August the 18th, I need to go in and sign up for open house Kennesaw campus. The next one will be the Marietta campus the following weekend. Everybody in my office loves working 2 weekends in a row. We get so excited by all the energy, and we will have all our energy there those days because we haven't had open houses since spring of 2020. But Saturday, September 25th, we will be on the Marietta campus. So we're going to have 4 open houses this fall, but I'm only going to tell you the first 2 dates. The other ones, they'll come later. You got to pay attention. We'll post them and sign up. So there you go.
You can hang out with us 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's right.
So you
Yeah.
can come to the Kennesaw one, and then come to Marietta, and then we get to hang out again.
Yep.
Perfect point, Jacinta, as usual. Get to figure out, if you're waffling between majors, right?
Yes, yeah.
Maybe you want to major in information systems,
Yeah.
in business. But you also are thinking about computer science. Well, those are 2 different campuses.
Yep.
Come to both open houses, feel it out. Plus, you get to eat in Stingers and in the Commons. So win-win.
Stingers.
2 weekends in a row.
I'm really excited
I
about
know,
Stingers.
honestly, I love lunch at open house.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So good.
Fantastic. So come for open house. There you go. More news from the nest. Okay, great. So we'll post those a month ahead of time. Visit.kennesaw.edu and sign up. I want to share some information because part of the college going, particularly if you have, well, really only if you have a high school student, you're planning for dual enrollment. You're planning for, which Abby did dual enrollment,
She
which
did
is
dual
really
enrollment.
cool. That's
Yes,
how she's coming in.
She was homeschooled, and she did dual enrollment. So if you have any of those questions,
Those are heavy questions.
now is the time.
Nicole's your parent
Yep.
to trust. She's a very trustworthy person,
Yeah.
She is.
by the way. So
Yes.
yeah, okay. So she can answer all your heavy questions
All of
about
those.
homeschooling and then dual
dual
enrollment. What it's like
enrollment.
to be a dual enrollment parent. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
very good. So dual enrollment, you're going to need this next year, 2022, 2020. What the future? 2022. So far, it seems
future.
so far in advance, and it's not.
It's not.
We say this every year though. Once it passed 20, once it hit 2020, it was like,
done.
all right, we're in like Star Trek.
Yeah, just
The
warp
Jetsons.
speed.
Somebody
Yes.
told me the other day, we're actually closer to the time that the Jetsons, this is for all the parents that are out there because the students don't know what the Jetsons are. We're closer to the time that the Jetsons occurred in the cartoon than we are to when it aired. So let that
I'm gonna
sink
need
in.
a flying car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Where are we?
We're almost there.
We're
We're getting
Nicole.
there. We
We're
got electric.
getting there.
We have electric cars now, but we
Yeah.
just can't get rid of the rubber tires.
need-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you
we
know.
can get there.
Yeah.
The anti-gravity.
But we're close.
I mean, we're
trying.
sending people to space.
I think it was like 2064.
Just for fun now.
just for fun. Yeah.
2064, I think, is the year, if I remember. 2062, it's one of those. So, anyways, okay. So, anyways, the future. We're not talking about 2064. We're talking about 2022. And if you're thinking about dual enrollment, you're thinking about your high school student that's a rising senior now coming as a first-year student. They're going to need the SAT or the ACT. So I'm going to tell you ahead of time, here's some big dates that are coming up for the SAT and the ACT, because both of those tests like for you to register for them a month in advance. One, you don't want to give those organizations more money than they're already asking for, so register during the early registration period, not the late registration period. Save yourself some bucks, and that way your students registered for the SAT and or the ACT. So big dates that are coming up. Because again, sorry, let me clarify. We are requiring the SAT or the ACT, depending on your student, depending on which one they perform better on. We'll take either one. If a student's applying for dual enrollment, if a student's applying as a first-year student, or as a transfer freshman, somebody that has transfer credit but less than 30 credit hours, and they're not above the age of 25. So that's a transfer freshman in a nutshell. You're going to need the SAT or the ACT. So the SAT dates that are coming up, there's a test on August the 28th. August the 28th. You sign up for these online. Hopefully you know how to do that. If not, use the old Google machine and they'll help you out. So August 28th is the deadline, but the deadline to register is July the 30th. So we're 2 weeks away from the deadline to register, or a little less. Yeah, geez.
Yeah.
A little less. Yeah, oof. You're right. July 30th for the August 28th SAT. Okay. The next SAT date is October the 2nd. You have until September the 3rd to register for that. So those are the two upcoming SAT dates, August 28th, October 2nd. The reason why these things are important, you get close to some key deadlines for us if you have not taken an SAT or an ACT. So our priority deadline coming up for this next fall 2022, is November the 1st. You need to have tests, actually it's November the 2nd, I'm sorry, that November the 1st is a Sunday. November the 2nd, you need to have tested and have your scores sent to us for consideration. The priority deadline, if you're a high school senior, is important because we open up housing and we open up orientation signups in December. You have to be admitted under the priority registration.
Priority
Everybody
deadline.
wants that too. The priority deadline, application deadline, to be considered for housing in December and orientation in December. So if KSU is your school, like we're talking about tonight, a lot of the things we're talking about is doing things early, so that you have choices, you're able to do all these things with as least amount of stress as possible. Okay, so SAT, August 28th and October the 2nd. The ACT date, September 11th is the very first ACT date that's coming up here this fall, and you have to register by August the 6th, okay? September 11th, August the 6th is your registration date. The next ACT date is October the 23rd, which would still work for us for priority deadline, just as an awareness piece, because your deadline to turn in supporting documentation is 2 weeks after the priority deadline. So that would be your SAT or your ACT score. So we need those by mid-November. But October 23rd, you have to register by September the 17th. So a lot of things to remember. Thankfully, this is all recorded and it's saved there on Facebook, and you can come back to it, and there you go. Okay. So a lot of stuff. Okay, sorry, folks, and I thank y'all for jumping in when you jump in. Last thing I want to talk about is Instagram. We have an incredible Instagram. Becca, who runs our Instagram, is here tonight behind the scenes. She's fantastic. All the awesome students that work with her are fantastic. We have a killer Instagram. So KSU_admissions. If you're not following us, we like parents to follow too. One of my favorite things is when I'm doing an Instagram live and I can tell when it's a parent asking a question. I mean, one, usually your profile picture is you and all your children, and your name is like, Amy's mom 123, or the year you graduated from college or high school, or your birth year. Those are all the best Insta handles. So, Amy's mom 123, born in 1972 or whenever you were born. So it's all cool stuff like that. But follow us on Instagram. That is our main channel that we get information out. We do incredible student takeovers. We do incredible admissions counselors takeovers where all day they're answering questions. They're posting about the cool stuff that they're doing. They're taking you places on campus. They're talking about their days. It's a great insider view to the things that happen here at KSU, and it's from people you really want to hear from. It's from your admissions counselor. It's from students that you see yourself in. They're doing neat things. They're involved in clubs and organizations. They're going to class. They're talking about how they study. They're sharing those insider tips. It is a great way to engage with us here at Kennesaw State University, to get that information in a way that you're already used to receiving information through your phone, digitally, that way. So do it. We have almost 10,500 followers. We're at 10,400 and some odd followers. So we've been growing leaps and bounds. This is a great way to connect with us and stay on top of all these things. And like I've said, we share insider information there, including fun contests and giveaways, and we will jump on there if something changes throughout the admissions cycle. That's the first place we jump on to share that information. We'll go live with something, share it there, save the video, and you can go back and watch it. So do that, join in, and get that real in-the-moment news as you're going throughout this cycle, and that will help you stay on top of the things that you need to do with KSU. All right, I'm probably not done talking, but I'm done with news from the nest. A lot of news from the nest. It's probably because I've not been here, so sorry,
but
folks.
It's good news.
It's good news.
Great, thank you.
It's good news.
Yeah. You have to say that. All right, so now we're going to let Nichole talk. Nichole is super cool. One, we have some real veterans of admissions here today, because both of these individuals have been at the university and worked at the university longer than I've been here. So I've had the pleasure of knowing them. It's not anything to be embarrassed about. I've had the pleasure of knowing them since 2014, and really absolutely love working with Jacinta and with Nichole. But we're going to take Jacinta out of the hot seat. We're going to put Nichole in the hot seat, And
For your defense.
which, by the way, you sat in a weird chair tonight.
I know. I was trying to like give.
I just noticed, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Hold
Maybe that's
on.
why you're doing your hand like this.
Yeah,
or-
because I don't know
Like,
what to do
whoa.
with my hand.
I'm in the wrong spot.
Yes. Normally
I was
we'd put the guest in
in
the
the
middle.
But since Nichole,
It's fine.
Not really. Nicole's not a guest,
Guest,
so to speak. I mean,
but
yeah.
I was giving her options.
Yeah.
There you
know,
go.
I wanted
Okay,
to
good.
switch it up.
Okay.
They said
Well-
3 minutes. We sat down.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That's true. That's true. We had to go. We had to get ready. Nichole, tell everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land about you.
Sure.
Where did you go to school?
Yeah.
Because I know that answer. And how did you end up working in admissions? Maybe a little bit about some of the jobs that you've held in admissions,
Yeah.
because you've done pretty much everything there is to do, which is
everything.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll lead with that.
Okay, cool. So I went to Kennesaw State as a student.
Hooty Hoo.
Hooty Hoo, which was not even a
Not a
thing.
thing.
Wasn't that a thing?
So I went to Kennesaw State. And I was a student assistant and a tour guide and did all the things and then just never left. So I've been a counselor since I graduated in a year that starts with a 19.
Whoop,
So a long time.
Yeah.
Throughout that time, I have worked with every population of student. So freshmen for a long time, dual enrollment students, readmit students, adult students, transfer students, homeschool students, which I ended up with one, all categories of students. So I am now currently focused on transfers and non-traditional students. But yeah, I graduated, I needed a job. I'd been working in admissions for the last 4 or 5 years and was like, that seems like a great thing, like to keep doing. And so it was, and that's how I became a counselor.
And Nichole is the best counselor. You can ask Nichole anything, and she usually has the answer, or how should I handle this situation? And Nichole usually has the best answer, and you're like, why didn't I think of it that way?
Thank you.
So Nichole, you're the best.
Well, thanks.
Bingo.
Well, thanks.
Nichole, think about, because we've already let the cat out of the bag, so you have a daughter.
I have a daughter.
Her name's Abby.
Abby.
She's really cool.
She's awesome.
Yep.
Love her.
And she's coming to KSU for the fall.
She is.
Talk a little bit about that process, what it's like to be a parent of now a college-going student. How did you approach the process? One, being a professional in working in higher education, but did that affect you, or as I kind of felt, I basically threw it all out and started with a lot of nudging.
With a lot of, so
yes.
it's a very different process from telling people all
Yeah.
day, every
This is
day
how you should do it.
should do it, and then how you actually do it.
Yeah.
So Abby was homeschooled through middle school and high school, and she did dual enrollment her junior and senior years of high school. She did it full time. So she graduated high school this past June with about 36 college hours.
That's awesome.
So throughout that process, it was a matter of making sure that her college classes she was taking met her high school requirements and would be transferable to wherever she decided she wanted to go, which a lot of people right now, they're questioning why they have to attend a virtual orientation. Abby decided to go to KSU because she was watching me participate in virtual orientations and thought it looked really fun. So and she did a virtual orientation and loved it. So she decided KSU was where she wanted to go. So we kind of started that process. And I tell people all the time, start as early as humanly possible. And we did not. So we did not start as early as humanly possible. We did wait a little bit because she was getting those college hours. The one thing we did start as early as we possibly could was financial aid. So we submitted her FAFSA because financial aid is a longer process than admissions. And you want to know what you're working with financially, right? You want to have, like you were saying earlier, you want to have those conversations nice and early about what does your financial aid package look like? How does that apply to your various schools? So we went and approached the admissions process. I was like, you're the student. Mom knows things and I can answer questions for you, but don't make me be the admissions counselor for you. Like, I'm your mom. So we did the application, we did her transcripts, I did her homeschool portfolio. So if you have questions about that, I've been through putting through the homeschool portfolio. We got her college transcript sent, and we got everything done. So it wasn't an instant decision for her. She went through the normal process. She was reviewed like everyone else. She was caught in that magical time frame of no test scores. So that was a beautiful thing. But if she had needed test scores, she would have been testing her junior year to make sure if we needed to retest, we would have time during that early senior year. And so that's kind of how we did it. By February, she was admitted and registering for orientation. She loved virtual orientation. She also did the in-person Now event, so the New Owl Welcome. Loved that. Came home. If you're wondering if you should attend open house, you should, because she came home after eating in the dining hall and made me get her a dining plan, a meal plan.
Nice.
So yeah, I think she plans to camp out in the dining hall.
As she should.
That's where you will find Abby. Go look for her. She has pink hair. She's awesome.
Abby has to keep her pink hair.
Abby,
now.
she's gonna keep her pink hair.
She can't change the
change
color
it now.
She's stuck.
She's gonna keep that pink hair. And yeah, so she has loved it. It has been a very different experience of waiting for decisions. So another reason to do things as early as possible, because there is a wait time. You're waiting for the admissions decision. You're waiting for your financial aid package. You're waiting for orientation to open. So as soon as you can do everything, do it. Sometimes you need verifications. Sometimes you need to submit additional documentations, especially for financial aid. So Abby got picked for verification. It's not
fun.
Yes. And
You send a nice note to somebody, one of our buddies in financial aid.
No, I
Thanks a lot.
didn't. I didn't. So the fun, I did the whole thing.
I know it's not actually
It's not
financial aid
actually-
that does it.
it's
It's
not.
the federal government,
It
Department
is.
of Ed.
And I
Yeah.
learned it doesn't mean you did something wrong. I was like, what did I screw up? It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It's random, and they go, we want to see your, what is it, your taxes? Yeah. We want to see your taxes. So we uploaded them online. We got it all done. And she was good to go. But yeah, waiting for things take time to process. So if you know something is going to take a few weeks to process and you do it a few weeks early, by the time you're ready to move on to more fun things like orientation and advising and things like that, then you're ready instead of scrambling. So that
Nice.
was, yeah, I did take my advice there.
Yeah, some good advice. That's right.
I did take my advice.
Well, and it sounds like even though you may say you didn't start the process as early as you wanted to, you did focus on financial aid. So
We
you had
did.
the FAFSA
Yes.
done early, and that's great.
It opens October 1st every year.
There you go. So October 1st, another deadline for
Yes.
you.
Planner. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Financialaid.kennesaw.edu will help
Super
you
easy.
out. But even though you'd say you maybe started a little later than you wanted to, it still to me sounds like you actually, I don't want to use the word relax because that's probably not the right word, but you approached it soundly. Maybe you
Right.
didn't worry too much and
Right.
stress
Right.
about the process, even though you knew you had things to do and Abby had things to do. There seemed like, I heard from what you were saying, an appropriate amount of trust
In the
between
process.
you and Abby in
Yes.
the process, right?
Yes.
You were always there to help if needed,
Right.
but not the one always driving.
Right. I was not the one submitting her application. I'm not the one checking her student email. I'm not having the emails come to me, right? She's the student, so she has to do that process. And I'm there to support her in that process. And I'm there when she walks up with her phone and says, what does that mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I can decode it for her. But she is the one going to school, so she's the one that has to do that process. That has to get herself enrolled, and she meets with her advisor, and she does all of that. So, you know, I put together her homeschool portfolio, but other than that, you know, she got her transcript sent everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That was going to be my question. It's like, how do you be hands-on but not be hands-on as a parent
Yeah.
when you're
Show me that you're hands-on
like, how
without
do you
showing
be
me that you're
hands-on?
hands-on.
Like, how do you
Or
do
tell
that?
me that you're hands-on. Yeah.
Because I know sometimes it's, I mean, even as in, I don't have kids, but like, there's just things you're like, let me just do this.
Let me just do it.
And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's
It'd be
easier,
done
right?
quicker.
just get it
Yeah,
done.
right.
It's
I mean, done like
faster.
that.
Like, we can get it done. Like, how do you like balance that
Yeah.
not taking over?
It's a weird thing because you're used to doing that.
Yeah.
You're used to just doing all the things. But at this point, I mean, I'm not going to class for her, you know? I'm not registering for her classes. I'm not, you know, doing these things. And I can help her through that process, but she has to be in a habit of checking her student email. That's how we communicate with students. She has to be the one to do that or she's gonna miss things. I'm in admissions. I'm not in orientation. I'm not in financial aid. I'm not, I know people and I know a little bit about that process, but she has to communicate with the appropriate people in order to be successful in that process. Yeah. So she's got to take that on. And she did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have a couple questions. Y'all ready for some
Awesome.
questions?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's me. Okay, so you caught me off guard, Jordan. I was looking through the comments. Okay, here we go.
Quit playing around on Instagram. Hold on one
You're
second.
not-
Hold on. We're getting.
You're on mute.
Yeah. We're
Can you
getting
hear me
going
now?
again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, this comes from an international student.
Oh, cool.
His name is David.
Hi, David.
So yes, and he's commenting from YouTube. So
Nice. What up, Dave?
Yeah, just a general first steps, and I can share in the comments our contact information for Callie. But that for an international student to get started with applying for admission to KSU.
Nice.
All right. I can. Do you want
Who
to take
wants
it?
to
You
Go
wanna
take
take
ahead.
it?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
I think one of the first things, depending on where you are coming from, what kind of student are you going to be? So, David, are you going to be an incoming freshman for fall of 2022? Are you going to be a transfer student for fall of 2022? So we can start there. But then, depending on what country you come from and all of that, you would want to make sure that your transcripts from your country have been evaluated. So we usually tell students use NACES.org, and there are about 15 evaluation companies that you can choose from. A lot of our students use West, but you can use any of the 15 or so evaluation companies. And if you are coming from a high school outside of the US, you want to do a document by document evaluation of your high school transcript. If you are coming as a transfer student, it's course by course, but the evaluation company will know exactly what to do and evaluate your transcripts that way.
Spell out NACES.
NACES.org.
There you go. That way there's no confusion.
NACES.org, yes.
Yeah.
You'll go into their website and they'll have information on the evaluation company. And I would encourage you to start that process early. At this point, we really want students to get those evaluations in. It may take a little bit longer with where we are in life. So I would just say go ahead and start that process now. And that way we can have that on file for you. Yeah. And then we have wonderful, Callie's really wonderful, Callie Rendon. She is our international counselor. We also have Anna, who also can help our students who have international documentation. So reach out to either one of them, make an appointment with them. We have Calendly, so you can book an appointment and talk to them about that process, because there's a few other things that you'll need, but really getting your evaluations done is the most important.
And then look on our special events page too, because Callie hosts international student information sessions. We just had one today, and we'll have another one in about a month.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good plug.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Oh, and David, post the country, your
Yeah.
home country. We would love to know.
Okay. Oh, Elizabeth Davis says, "Hi guys."
Hi, Elizabeth.
What up, Elizabeth?
And so did Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Redding.
Nice.
Getting a lot
Hey,
of,
Jessica.
lot of friends. Okay, got one other question for now. It's from Lee. So, are 100% online courses required a proctored final exam on campus, or are those tests administered online through, they probably don't know what D2L is, but I guess we could talk a little bit about
through our
that.
online student portal.
Yeah.
So that great question. Hold on, what was the name? What was the student's name
Lee.
again? Lee. Leigh or Lee? Li. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, great. Good question, Lee. So, if you're taking fully online courses, right? Each course is ultimately your final is determined by that actual professor. So we can't say that it would be 100% a proctored exam at the end. If you're in an online course, you are going to take an online final exam. I've actually never seen an online course require a student to take an in-person exam. But there are some professors that require proctored exams online, and some don't. That's at the discretion of the faculty member. So just keep that in mind, but I can almost 100% guarantee you will take that final online.
And I would look, depending on your classes, some professors have already posted to D2L, but just check your syllabus and your professor will let you know. So you'll know way ahead of time before classes start what those exams will look like. Or just if you have your professor, they've already posted things, they may already be checking their D2L email. Maybe email your professor and just ask that question as well.
Nice.
That's it for now.
Okay. So let's get back to college prep with Nichole. Nichole, I didn't prompt you with this earlier, so
okay.
sorry. But think back. When was the first time you had a conversation with Abby that you can remember about college, about going to college, about what college was about? Did she ask you questions, or you were like, "Hey, we got to have the college talk"?
We have to have the college conversation.
How did that go down?
So I think college has been a part of the general conversation kind of her whole life. That is what is going to happen after high school, if that is a career path that you choose that needs college.
Right.
So, and then when she was in middle school, you start having those conversations of, are you going to start taking those college prep courses in 8th grade, or are you going to wait? Those high school credit courses, and then just making sure that she is taking the correct courses, and then especially with doing dual enrollment, junior and senior years, making sure that she's taking the correct courses to be eligible for colleges, and understanding what courses are required. Is that changing throughout her course of high school for when she's going to be ready? Do we need to add more of one subject or another? And just making sure that we're on the right path. Where she wanted to go to school, she's never been a kid that was like very clear cut and focused of, here is where I want to go. Right now she's a psychology major. She wants to be a child life specialist, which is super cool. For a long time she was on a kind of a special education path. So we knew we wanted to look at certain schools in that vein. And so we looked at certain schools that would have those majors. But yeah, really in middle school, kind of really starting to have those conversations of what classes do you need to be taking now that are setting you up ultimately for graduation. So the college process is not a senior year process.
Right.
It's not a senior year process. It's not a 1-year process. And the admissions process isn't either. It's a multi-year, like starting in middle school and leading up to graduation of the path, and keeping those doors open, and making sure that various pathways are open to your student.
Right. So you may have just scared some people by saying, no worries, by saying it's over now, so it doesn't matter anyways. It's the cat's out of the bag again.
Not cool.
But
though.
it's a multi-year process.
It is a multi-year
is what you said.
process.
And it's true,
Yeah.
but because you look back, and there's probably been, as a parent, I know I look back and I couldn't tell you with my oldest daughter Chandler, who's now graduated and out of college. And I couldn't tell you when is the time we really talked hardcore about college, like where we sat down and said, her dad always worked at university, so she grew up and thinking, what do you do for a living? Get a real job. But, like an old judgmental parent, get a real job. Not really. But she's always been smarter than me, so we at least knew that. But I don't remember a time where we were really like, probably for me, it really got heavy in junior year.
Yes.
We were always having those micro conversations about, okay, you got to take these courses so you're on this track. Oh, do you want to take an AP in this, or do you want to take an honors or nothing? You know, just stay on the regular
On-level,
high school
yeah.
course, on-level course. But it wasn't ever like I didn't really sit down with her each semester with a college planning book and
Right.
talk through it.
No, you
Probably
kind of
should
have those dinner
but-
conversations.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
more those dinner
Yeah,
conversations.
and as things come up, like, oh, hey, you probably should think about this.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and there's conversations we had too, because sometimes you're looking at schools out of state, and that's a whole different tuition ball game, and you need to have those conversations of,
Yeah.
do we need to tour those? Is that even an option?
Right.
So
Well, so you bring up a great point. You talked about it a minute earlier, and we had a conversation before this started as well. But you need to talk about finances.
Yep.
That's a conversation that, frankly, I don't know anybody really wants to have.
No.
Especially with your
With your,
Jacinta.
not with your child.
No, and I know Jacinta is more financially responsible than I am. But it's like nobody really wants to have that conversation, and particularly with your kids. Unless, like I have with my rising third grader, no, you cannot have that toy because if we do buy that for you, we're not eating dinner tonight.
Yes.
So, which one do you want?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to
It's
have
true.
that conversation. But it's important to have this conversation about college because college is a big investment.
Yes.
And for, like you said, Abby said, I want to do something that does involve a college degree. So you have to have that credential to be able to even go and be considered in this career path or field.
Yep.
So that meant, okay, we have to have the college conversation. And that needs to include finances as soon as possible.
Yes.
Honestly, because unless you all of a sudden come into the lottery, which not many people win the lottery, right? Or you invested in Dogecoin at the right time and you got out early, you're not really, your finances aren't changing that drastically year to year.
Well, and you want it's not just tuition. It's not
Yeah,
just tuition
yeah,
and
right,
fees.
right,
You want to have conversations. Are they Hope eligible? Are they Zell Miller eligible? Does that mean you're looking only at colleges in Georgia? Are they living off campus or out of your home? Are they living on campus?
Commuting or
Yeah.
living on
Or
campus.
are they
yeah.
living at home? Because that's another financial consideration. You need to look at that because that's going to, if you go, okay, no, you're not going to be living on campus, then you need to look in a tighter circle than maybe you would have if they were going to live on campus.
Right.
So those are big conversations.
Right, right. Yeah, and along with those things are if you're performing well academically, right, or in other things that involve special talents, what kind of scholarships could you be eligible for? And
Yes.
how does that become a part of the college affordability talk?
And apply for those early.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Again, we help you out, financialaid.kennesaw.edu. We have all of our financial aid information on there, as well as all of our scholarship information on there.
Yes.
Universe.
And
Yeah.
KSU
Scholarship
has made it.
Anybody wanna talk about that?
Yes, because we did that. So KSU partnered with Scholarship Universe to make the scholarship application process incredibly easy. It matches you with both internal and external scholarships. So scholarships that are available directly from KSU, and there is a window of time where you'll be matched with that. It opens November 1st every year and typically March 1st. We did bump it out a little bit this past year. And then outside of that window, you can continue to be matched with and apply for external scholarships, so scholarships that are coming from outside the university. And one of the reasons that Financial Aid Office partnered with Scholarship Universe is because we all know how fun it is to Google scholarship opportunities and try to determine what is legitimate, what is a legitimate scholarship opportunity and what is not. So with Scholarship Universe, you can apply knowing that all of those scholarships that you'll be matched with have been vetted. They are legitimate. And it's super easy. You create an account. You put in some basic information about yourself. It walks you through a series of questions, and based on your answers, it helps match you with potential scholarships.
Yeah, pretty smooth.
It's so easy.
And they'll
It's so
email
easy.
you'll get emails
Yep.
often about just reminding you about Scholarship Universe and the different things that are available to you. So even for me, I get emails from Scholarship Universe, and I'm not applying for scholarships. So,
I do too. I do too.
so I think it's just good for the student to have an email account, like as you start to, and I know this is off the subject of finances, but as a college student or as a high school student starting to look at colleges, create an email account that is specifically for the colleges that you may potentially want to apply to for that year. That way everything's going to the same thing, and it's not maybe getting lost in your high school account. It's not getting lost in like your iCloud account. Like you have just one email specifically to colleges as you start narrowing them down.
Yeah, that's great advice. Great advice. Don't get it mixed up.
Yeah.
Don't go and fill out that inquiry form for a buy one get one free Dunkin' Donuts or something with that
With your
same
college,
email.
yeah.
With your
Because
college
you might
email.
accidentally delete the important college information because you're like, oh, I miss my Dunkin' Donuts free trial.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe.
Okay, great. Yes.
Back to finances.
Okay, well, I don't know. I think we're done with finances.
Okay.
I think that I do want to dovetail though with finances into something that's very simple that really everybody has access to. Is how do we create a very simple way of tracking what I need to do or what your student needs to do. And there's some big things, some big deadline dates that we talk a lot about that's very public information. But if you don't have it in like my planner, like I talked about earlier, maybe you're a planner, like a physical planner person, maybe you've been able to fully adapt to the digital life and you keep this all on your smartphone. I don't know. I have to still write it down physically. So I put all those things in my planner. But sit down with your student, and whether they're a junior in high school and they're signing up for SAT, ACT, and they're starting to take campus tours, or they're a senior and they're starting the application process, or they're a transfer student and you're helping them just to stay on top of some big deadlines like, okay, little Johnny, you've got to apply by this date, and that's it. That's all you're going to do is help remind them about that date, right? Nothing else. You're just going to nudge them a little bit. Put these dates in your planner, in your phone, in whatever way you keep track of this stuff. I used to tell people, build an Excel file and track by the university you're applying to, and Google Doc. Oh, is that cool? Okay, yeah. So you use Google Sheets. Hey, I know all the cool stuff. So yeah, Google Doc makes a lot of sense because you can share it. You can share an Excel file as well, but whatever. A little more boring, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not. I like it.
That's a great Google Sheet is a great thing. You want to talk about that? No, it was my segment. My idea, but
I prefer Excel, but
you were just making a comment.
I was just making a comment.
Suggestion.
Yeah.
You're so kind. So Google Sheet, use a Google Sheet. And then you can share it with your student.
Yep.
You can post things in there. They can
Your
post things in
student
there.
makes the Google Sheet. And the student
They
shares
probably
it
know how to
with
make it
their
better than you anyways.
responsibility on the
But
student.
have something like that is just bare bones. I know this is the priority deadline date for Kennesaw State. These are the upcoming SAT, ACTs. This is the transfer document deadline.
Yeah.
This is when my virtual international Zoom session is going to be with Callie, whatever it may be. Fill that out, and that way you're not going to miss something along the way. Because what we're here tonight, really, at the end of the day, our purpose is to help make this process less stressful for you. Or your student knows they want to go to college. That's the plan. So if that's your plan, then plan effectively, plan accordingly, and try to actually carry out that plan with as low amount of stress as possible. And we are here to help you. So even if you're not picking up on anything we're saying tonight, and it all goes by the wayside, you forget everything, or you never refer back to this video, just reach out to us, and we will help you. admissions.kennesaw.edu. All of our contact information is there on the admissions website. Reach out. We will help you. We will talk through this stuff again. Nichole is fantastic. Jacinta is fantastic as well. but I've seen Nichole counsel students for what seems like probably hours, sitting with them individually, one-on-one. We're a big university. We have over 41,000 students. Nichole will sit down with you. Jacinta will sit down with you. I will sit down with you one-on-one and go through these things just to make this process accessible for you.
And don't think you're the only one.
Yeah.
Because
Great point.
people call every single day and they say, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, perfect. Because nobody else does either. And that's why we're here.
Right.
That's why we are here.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so don't feel like you're the only one. Don't be afraid to reach out.
Absolutely. We're getting near the end of our time. So we always like to do like, what's one piece of advice? If you had to pick one thing out of your hat of advice, what would you share with people out there in Facebook and YouTube land?
Yeah, so I think it's what we've been talking about all night is start early. As soon as the thought enters your head of, I would like to go to Kennesaw, or I think Kennesaw has a degree I would like, reach out right then. It's not too early. If you're a freshman in high school, it's not too early. If you're in 8th grade, it's not too early. If you're a senior in high school, it's not too late. We can help you along the way. If you don't know what courses you need to take, we can help you. If you don't know how the process works at all, we can help you. But start as early as possible asking the questions, because then you can just hit the buttons.
Boom.
I
Love
like it.
Jacinta?
Sorry, I had a song in my head as she was.
Oh, what is it?
I think it's
Share it.
I think it's like a Temptation song, and she kept saying like "reach out," and there's like a song, and
Reach out.
yeah, it's like that,
Yeah.
and then it says "I'll be there." So like I feel that's I feel like
true.
it's a
What a
perfect
great
song,
song.
Perfect.
to like.
Oh my gosh, Jacinta. Jacinta, if you don't know Jacinta, she is our like.
She has a song for
she's
everything.
I have a song
she's
for everything.
A jukebox. She is Spotify in the flesh.
Sorry, so that's what I had in my head.
God, this totally made my night.
Perfect.
I
We have a
think
theme song
we
now.
have a theme. Yes, I
Great,
love it.
actually.
It may not even be the Temptations. It might be like Fifth Dimensions. I don't know. Anyway, but I would say similar to Nichole, like we're here for you and your students. So as a parent, I know we were talking about like making sure your kids do things, but we want to hear from you too. So have your kids on the phone with us or give us a call. I love talking to parents. I enjoy having those conversations. So that's what our job is. Our job is to help your kids through the admission process, to make it smooth, to answer those questions that you think is sometimes a silly question, and it's not a silly question. Sometimes those questions jog other things for us to even say, oh, wait, let's think about it in a different way. So definitely reach out to us, talk to us. And then as a student, I would say the same thing. Prep yourself, be prepared, write down your questions, make a plan, have an agenda, do all the things to prep yourself as early as possible so that when I always tell students, apply early, do everything early, because by the time you hit the spring of your senior year, it's going to fly by so fast. And the last thing you want to do is be worrying about where am I going to go to school. So do things early in a timely fashion so that you're not stressed and that you can relax and enjoy those spring moments of high school, which is prom and spring break and all these other big things that we make a big deal out of. So that's my advice.
These are great pieces of advice. I'm a rule breaker, so I'm going to break the rules. I have 2 pieces of advice. I made up the rules.
I was going to say, I feel like I
They're
gave a
your
lot
rules.
of different
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was,
Okay,
you know,
so
yeah.
I'll simplify, which is hard for Jordan. Number 1, relax. You want your student to go to college. You want your student to go to the right college for them. But relax through this process. Life has a wild way of just working out for most people. So don't take it too seriously. Relax through the process. Number 2, visit campus. So if it's here, which is what we're talking about, come visit
We want you
Kennesaw
here,
State
yeah.
University. if you've decided Kennesaw State's not the right school for you, go visit those schools that are the right schools for you or for your student. Visit as soon as possible, because so often the student, the family steps on campus, and you either have those butterfly moments where this is the school for me, you know, the clouds open up and the light shines through and it's and then the temptations kick in and I'll be their place. But no, that could work. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And that would definitely be the school for you. You should go there. But a lot of times I feel like students have that feeling, families have that feeling, yeah, this is the right school. And that happens through the campus visit, coming for a campus tour, showing up for an open house. And if you get there and you decide, oh, this is not what I thought, right? This is not the school I thought I was coming to see. Does not feel right to me. And you have that closure, and you can move on. But the campus visit is so important to deciding ultimately where to go to school. It is something that you really should plan for and actively take time out of all the other things you're doing so that you can visit early and then do the application early, do all the things that Nichole and Jacinta talked about. So those are my two pieces of advice. Again, a little plug, we have open houses September the 18th and September the 25th. Kennesaw is on the 18th, Marietta is on the 25th. And we do campus tours Monday through Friday, both campuses. So sign up for times that work for you. That's it. I'm glad to be back in this normal time, what was normal before the pandemic, Monday nights, 7 p.m. So put this in your planner. We do this about once a month, sometimes a little more, depends. This is a great way to learn about KSU, a great way to get more information about all the inside things that are happening. We have special guests, not as cool as Nichole, but special guests that come on all the time from housing and dining and orientation, special academic programs, financial aid. So all sorts of cool people that will come on with us and talk about what they do here to help your student in the Owl Nation. So watch out for these, join in the future, and most of all, let us know how we can help you. Admissions.kennesaw.edu. We would love to help you through the process, just like Nichole and Jacinta talked about. Nichole, we always end with Owl Eyes and a Hooty Hoo. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Hooty
Hooty Hoo!